على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا سهل ما جعلته سهلا تجعل حزنا والصعب إنما شئت سهلا اللهم آمين. We will continue inshallah with our tafsir, and we are now at Surah Az-Zalzala, which is another short surah from the last surah of the Quran that addresses the issues of Iman and the Akhirah. And this is, the sequence of the short surahs in the at the end of the Quran. They are, with the iqa'. You will find that the short surahs at the end of the Quran are shorter than the long surahs. For instance, in Surah Al-Baqarah, where in Surah Al-Baqarah there is a verse that is 1 page in length. Here it's shorter, it's with the rhythm, and it gets to the point and addresses the issues of aqidah and communicates with the rational and emotions to awaken people up to the reality of the fact that Allah is a creator and there is a life after death. So this is no exception surah. Allah Azza wa Jalla says in this surah, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. This is, though it's a very short surah, but it's very comprehensive in the meaning. Allah says, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا. If the earth shake, it is shook. The zilzal. Zalzala is from shaking things. And this is where zilzal in the Arabic language comes from. The earthquake. Because the earthquake is so severe and hard that it disrupts people's life. It destroys buildings and collapses huge structures. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying that إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا. If the earth give the shake, whether this is would be in the first zilzal or the second zilzal, where we know that the trumpet will be blown twice, and this is here referring to when the hereafter comes and the earth will be shaking and وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. As a result of this earthquake or this shaking to the earth, this huge shake, then all the treasures that are hidden inside the earth will be up to the surface. وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. All the hidden treasures that were inside the earth will be up. And as Mufassirun indicated, the gold and the silver, all the valuable things that were hidden inside the earth are going to be exposed to the surface, to the point that the person will be walking by the gold and say, for this I have killed, for this I have boycotted and ignored my rahim and ignored giving in the path of Allah, the sadaqah and being kind and generous, and when the people see this, they would regret all what they have done in the past, and it would be too late at that point, unfortunately, because this is something that they have been told in advance before to be interacting with. So when the earth shakes and all the treasures comes out, it would be too late for people to realize and wake up to their conscience when they will see that it is really worthless. All these things that we have illusions with in this dunya, that they are worth a lot, then at that moment would be nothing, and what would really be worth a lot is nothing but the good deeds. The way we interact with the gold and the silver and the money and the wealth that Allah Azza wa Jalla had entrusted us on in this dunya. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying, وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا. At that moment, people will be wondering, what's wrong with earth? What is happening? Young brothers, can you please pay attention? We want you to, be quiet. وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها. What's the matter? What's wrong? What's going on? Why is the earth is acting up? What is happening? Why all of a sudden all the treasures are coming up to the surface? You know, there must be something that is unusual. There's something going on here. وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها. At that moment, the earth will be speaking, will be talking its akhbar, its incidents, its action, the actions that took place on it. بأن ربك أوحى لها. And the one who, and the reason why the earth will be talking is because Allah Azza wa Jal will be conveying to her. أوحى لها, convey, as Allah Azza wa Jal conveyed to the Nahl. وأوحى ربك للنحل. As Allah conveyed, you know, to the Nahl, and أوحى to Musa, to convey to the mother of Musa alayhi salam. Allah Azza wa Jal will be conveying to the earth and communicating with her that it is time. بأن ربك أوحى لها. We'll be talking about what happened on it. All the little details that we have done on this earth. Every step we walked on it. All actions of good and bad will be reported, will be documented, and the earth will be testifying for or against all our actions in this dunya. بأن ربك أوحى لها. يومئذ, at that moment, and on that day, يصدر الناس أشتاتا. People will be resurrected of different kinds, and then ليروا يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم, to witness and to see their own actions and deeds. This is what we should be mindful about and aware of and preparing to, because when that time comes, then everything will be exposed. No secrets. Nowadays, technology is helping us to be able to kind of understand and comprehend these verses. You know, in the past time, this was a little difficult, but now most big cities or advanced, you know, civilized cities have street cameras, and these street cameras are used once in a while in crime scenes, where they're able to gather the footage and build, you know, and be able to get the story completed about what happened in a scene, whether it is, you know, a crime scene or, you know, a shooting, you know, incident, or anything that requires, you know, more details. So imagine if it's not only recorded images, but it is recorded and of video and audio all together combined with witnesses that are available to complete to complete the whole story. So Allah Azza wa Jal will be conveying to the earth بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم. They will be resurrected to see their own actions, their own deeds. You know, لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. No one will be held accountable for the actions of others. As today, you know, in Surah Al-Rahman, someone was reciting that يومئذ لا يسأل عن ذنبه إنس ولا جان. No one will be held accountable for the actions of others. You know, you are accountable for your own deeds, your own actions. No one else will be questioned about them. So you are responsible for your own actions. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى. And then whoever do an atom of good deed will see it, and whoever do an atom of bad deed will also see it. And the Prophet ﷺ indicated about this last verse at the end of this surah, that this is a جميع الفائدة. This is the inclusive, this is the comprehensive. Remember, you know, we had surahs that are worth 1/3 of the Quran. We have Surah Al-Asr. Young brothers in the back, can you please be quiet? Yeah. So we have Surah Al-Asr, for instance, that we talked about in the past weeks. You know, this is a short, comprehensive surah that Shafi'i said about it, that if nothing is revealed from the Quran except this surah, would be sufficient for people to guide them in their life. Now this is an inclusive ayah from a short surah, as the Prophet ﷺ indicated that it is a jami'a al-fadha, the inclusive, the comprehensive, in which should be able to guide us, would be providing the parameters for, would be providing, you know, the conscience parameters that would guide us in our life. We are accountable for little slight actions in our life. And it was reported that both Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu and Aisha radiallahu anha that have donated a grape, one grape, a grape, and when she gave that out, the recipient was belittling this, and she said, do you know how many atoms are there in this grape? Just one grape. How many atoms are included in that? And all those atoms will be evaluated for you. So do not belittle actions. Some people, when they look into the actions, they say, oh, this is a minor sin. It's okay to do it and move on. The hellfire is not for those who do minor small sins, but it is for those who do the kaba'ir, the huge sins and ma'asi. And they forgot that this ayah speaks about the little fine details of our lives and the little fine details of a'mal that we do, including the what's so-called small sins that people are engaged in. So do not belittle small sins, because eventually those little sins could be leading to bigger sins, and a drop of small, and upon a drop of a small would be creating something bigger, as it is the case with the drop of the rains. One drop of another drop will create a bond, and then it could be eventually a lake, and it could be much bigger than this. So and a small spark could be igniting a huge fire that could go out of control and would not be able and you people would not be able to stop it. So this is this short surah, though it is short, but has a very meaningful ayah at the end, in which Allah Azza wa Jal says, and puts the rules and set the parameters in our minds and our hearts, that do not belittle little things. Little thing could be something that could lead you to to a miserable end, and little thing could be also something that would be beneficial for you. The prostitute who have given water to the dog who was thirsty in the desert, this little action of hers was an action that Allah was happy with her and forgive her sins, and as a result of it. And the same, when someone will be saying something and displeasing Allah Azza wa Jalla, as we said in the past, that one would be saying a word displeasing Allah, and this word would be as a result, leading him to the hellfire, wal-'iyadhu billah. So do not belittle little things of both good and bad. When you do actions and deeds, do it with good intentions, with the intention that Allah Azza wa Jal is recognizing and evaluating. رب درهم سبق ألف درهم. One dirham, dollar would be more in value than 1,000 or 1,000,000 even dollar, because this $1 came from halal and given out of need and as the Prophet ﷺ indicated, the best of the sadaqah is when you spend when you are shahihun sahih, when you are in a good health, young, and don't have much to spend in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. So this is again a very comprehensive short surah with one comprehensive ayah, as the Prophet ﷺ said that this is a jami'atul fa'idha. فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. The evaluation scale in the hereafter would not be similar to the evaluation scales we have nowadays. Though nowadays we do have electronic measuring scales that can measure the fine little details, but in the akhirah it's going to be much more even fine to the slightest details of the atoms. In the past, it was very difficult for people to comprehend, many of the meanings in the Quran, and that's why there's a lot of interaction in science and the Quran. And this is, something for young brothers and sisters to explore, the scientific aspect of the Quran, and especially in the, the short Juzu Amma has a lot of scientific, facts in it. And as considering this we do not have, as far as I know, that any measuring scales that could measure the little fine, details up to the atoms. So this is something maybe the science will be, yet to come with something like that in the future. The following surah that comes before Surah Az-Zalzala, and we're going backward, is Surah Al Bayyina. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah Azza wa Jalla says in this surah, لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة رسول من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة فيها كتب قيمة وما تفرق الذين أوتوا الكتاب إلا من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة وذلك دين القيمة. Translation: ألم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة. The disbelievers from both the people of the book and the associators were not going to give up their beliefs. They're actually, by the way, this is the most difficult ayah maybe that the Mufassirun come across, because the meanings of this ayah, the introduction of this surah, vary from one, differ from one Mufassir to another. But the most realistic, most common or agreed upon meaning of this for this ayah is that those who disbelieved from the people of the book and the associators would not have given up their beliefs unless the Bayyina have came to them. Now, one would be asking, so what's the Bayyina? And this is again, the style of the Quran. If you look into the style of the Quran, it's very logical. Allah Azza says, Al-Qari'ah. Ma Al-Qari'ah? Wa ma adraka ma Al-Qari'ah? Very intellectual, very logical. Allah Azza addresses or presents something. Maybe it was not common at the time of Quraysh at that time. So he raises their attention. Al-Qari'ah, the strike. So what's a strike? Even that, Al-Qari'ah could be something known in the Arabic language, a strike. But what's with the strike? What is it? And Allah Azza even bring our attention even furthermore. Mal-Qari'ah. What is the Qari'ah? And then, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا-Qari'ah. And what would make you know what's the Qari'ah? And then Allah Azza goes on to explain what's the Qari'ah, the strike. So here, Allah Azza says, لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة. The disbelievers of both from the people of the book and the associators would not have given up their own beliefs until the Bayyina comes to them. But then Allah Azza goes on to explain what's al-Bayyina. رسول من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة. Al-Bayyina is a prophet from Allah reciting صحفا مطهرة, purified and pure, scripts. صحفا مطهرة, referring to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and referring to the Quran that the Prophet ﷺ was given to convey to people and mankind at his time and after his time to the rest until the day of judgment. So this is what is Al-Bayyina. Al-Bayyina is what would be clarifying. Al-Bayyina from yubin, to clarify. So it's the clarification or the clarifier. The Prophet ﷺ's mission was to help people to be enlightened. وَدَاعٍ إِلَى اللَّهِ بِإِذْنِهِ وَسِرَاجًا مُنِيرًا. That's why Allah described him as دَاعٍ إِلَى اللَّهِ بِإِذْنِهِ, calling to the path of Allah by His will. وَسِرَاجًا مُنِيرًا, and He is a lighting, torch a source of guidance and nur to those who are around Him at His time and after His time. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying, Al-Bayyina is the Prophet ﷺ and the Quran. وَمَا تَفَرَّقَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ رَسُولٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَفِيهَا كُتُبٌ قَيِّمَةٌ. These scripts that Allah Azza wa Jalla has revealed and given to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, referring to the Quran, فِيهَا كُتُبٌ قَيِّمَةٌ, has valuable meanings with the issues of Tawheed to Allah Azza wa Jal, and the issues that are related to the livelihood of people in their life. فيها كتب قيمة وما تفرق الذين أوتوا الكتاب إلا من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة. Now here again Allah Azza wa Jal is explaining another issue. وما تفرق, and those who were given the book from before did not differ and did not become divided until after the Bayyina have come to them. وما تفرق الذين أوتوا الكتاب إلا من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة. Because what happened is that the people of the book knew in their own scripts, whether Yahud or Nasara, the Jews or Christians, they knew the description of the Prophet ﷺ. It was not something that they were having doubt about, or they were in certain riba or shak, or they were not 100%. The description of the Prophet ﷺ was clear and known to them in their own scripts. And the Prophet ﷺ brought what will be in their own scripts. فيها كتب قيمة. The same teachings that the original scripts of the people of the book that Allah Azza wa Jal sent down to the prophets of His were matching exactly with the teachings of the Quran and the message of the Prophet ﷺ. There is no doubt about it. It's very clear. And then after that, the people of book divided to those who will be following and accepting the Prophet ﷺ's message, and those who will not be divided and accepting the message of the Prophet ﷺ, and will be continuing on the path that they have chosen for themselves as a result of arrogance and denying. Because when the Prophet ﷺ first arrived to Medina, and the inhabitants of Medina, who were both the associates of the mushrikeen and the Jews, and as it is reported, with the Safiya, the Prophet ﷺ's wife, when she said that her uncle and her father went outside with the rest of the people to wait for the Prophet ﷺ, and when he arrived, they looked at him and they knew him exactly based on the description of the Prophet ﷺ as he's being the Prophet, because they thought that, as it has been the tradition, that the prophets of Allah will be coming from the chain of Ishaq alayhi salam, and through Yaqub alayhi salam. And that's why Bani Israel, the children of Israel, referring to Yaqub alayhi salam, who is the son of Ishaq and the son of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And when the Prophet came from the outside their chain of their chain, then they became in illusion. They did not accept it and they denied it. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَتَفَرَّقَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْبَيِّنَةُ. Clear, very obvious. There is no illusions, no doubts. It's very clear and to them that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the Prophet that Allah Azza wa Jalla have revealed to them, who will be coming at the end of the time, who will be having a message similar to the original message that have come up, that has been given to them in their own scripture and their own books. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. And what they were asked to do, even in the original scripts, is to worship none but Allah Azza wa Jal. مَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ. To only worship Allah Azza wa Jal. مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. To be inclusive and with ikhlas and sincerity in their ibadah to Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is what makes this is what we are seeing clearly now in the trend and the change in the beliefs of the people of the book. As the people of the book from al-Yahud were dealt in a different way with their prophets. They were difficult with them. They have killed some of their own prophets. They questioned their own prophets. قالوا إن الله فقير ونحن أغنياء. They said that Allah Azza wa Jal is poor and we are rich. لعنوا بما قالوا وقالوا يد الله مغلولة غلت أيديهم ولعنوا بما قالوا. They said that the hands of Allah are tight, referring to that He's not giving the provision. So their relationship with their prophets and and the teachings of their prophets was very very harsh and very very difficult. However, on the other side, the attitude of the people of the book from An-Nasara, or those who call themselves Christians, supporters to Isa alayhi salam, quite the opposite. They become so possessed and fond of Isa alayhi salam, and they put him in the position and the stage of being, the son of God, wal-'iyadu billah, or being, part of the three, as they refer to the Trinity. So this is, two different ways of going off track that the former people of the book have done. Whether by denying and rejecting and being difficult with their prophets, or being an extreme with the way they love their own prophet Isa alayhi salam. And here comes the Islam to come as a middle path to help us put things into the right perspective. وَمَا أُمِرُوا, and they were not asked except to worship Allah Azza wa Jal, مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ, with sincerity in their worshipping to Allah Azza wa Jal. حُنَفَاءَ, referring to the path of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And what's Hanif in the Arabic language? Does anyone know what's Hanif? Hanif, by the way, is cricket. Because Ibrahim alayhi salam came in a time when people thoughts and beliefs were off track, and he came to bring them back to the straight path. The negative of the negative is positive, right? Come on, did you have to take math? The negative of the negative is positive, right? Right. So حنفاء, we have the university students in the back there. So حنفاء وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء, referring to the path of Ibrahim alayhi salam, to the original message of Tawheed from Allah Azza wa Jal, because Ibrahim came in a time where people worshipping statues and they were off track, so he brought them back to be on track once again. وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة, and to establish the salah and to give the zakah, as if Allah Azza wa Jal is saying that whatever the teachings of the Quran, or whatever the Quran is calling people for, is exactly what the teachings of the Torah and the Injil is calling for, because it coincides with the same values, establishing the salah to Allah and to give the zakah. And this is also another important issue about the value of salah and zakah in the life of the Muslim. The zakah and the salah are two important components. As salah haqqul rabb, and was zakah haqqul ibad. Establishing the salah is to enhance your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. You are surrendering and submitting to the will of Allah Azza wa Jal in your 5 daily salawat. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا وسبحوه بكرة وأصيلا. When you are connecting with Allah Azza wa Jal through your salah and enhancing your relationship with Him spiritually, and benefiting yourself in being submissive to Allah Azza wa Jal, especially when you're applying your salah in khushu'. And this is the most fruitful salah. Salah is to be done in khushu', so you're able to get the benefits of salah spiritually, physically, mentally. All the benefits are coming from applying the salah. But this is between Allah Azza wa Jal. If you pray 100 rak'ah, is the society going to benefit from it? It's not going to benefit anyone from you around you. But also there is another regulations that enhances livelihood of people among themselves. There comes the zakah, because in any society we do have those who are well off, those who have Allah Azza wa Jal have blessed with the wealth, and they have the ability to earn and to work and to establish themselves. And there are those who are less fortunate. And don't you think that don't you ever think that, oh, I am blessed, or I am as أوتيته على علم مني, as Qarun have said, that I am, I have money, I have job, I have this because Allah or because of my intelligence. It is Allah Azza wa Jal who have made this possible for you with the fact that you are, seeking the provision. You are working hard to earn it. And we said again, when we contemplated on the life of the Sahaba, like Uthman ibn Affan and Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, who, and in one of the incidents, the Prophet ﷺ sent a man to Abdul Rahman ibn Auf to ask him, for a horse so he can, join the army of Allah. And then, Abdul Rahman ibn Auf said to the man, go to the backyard and choose a horse you like, because you are coming from Prophet ﷺ. And the man happened to choose the horse that Abdul Rahman ibn Auf have chosen for himself. A very, powerful and horse. He said to him, but because the Prophet ﷺ you are coming from the side of Prophet ﷺ, I'm giving it away in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. But this person whom the Prophet ﷺ have sent did not know who Abdul Rahman, and when he went to look for him, he found him too busy in working, and he thought he's one of the employees for Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. This gives you an idea of how the Muslim does not shame the work, does not belittle anything. If I do not work as a manager, I'm not going to be working. If I do not get a certain position, I'm not going to be working. If I do not have a certain degree, I will not be able to work. Work is something that Allah have honored human with, and Islam have come to respect and honor that. And Allah and the provision comes from Allah Azza wa Jal. Your job, your job is to do, and Allah Azza wa Jal after that is the one who provide. Whether you will be able to get the blessings from, you will be tested with a lots of wealth, or you will be tested with the lack of wealth, because it is both tests from Allah Azza wa Jal. أما الإنسان إذا ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن. No, that's not true. وأما إذا ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن. If you are given health, oh, Allah Azza wa Jal is treating me very well. And what if Allah Azza wa Jal have made you poor? Then no, Allah Azza wa Jal is not happy with me. That's not the case, because wealth, the presence of the wealth and the lack of the wealth is both tests from Allah Azza wa Jal to see how you respond and react. And look into the situation of a human on earth right now. There are many intelligent people with a lot of potentials and a lot of skills and degrees, even living in certain parts of the world, who do not have the same available opportunities right now we do have here. And there are quite the opposite. We do have a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances, but we do have also people who have potentials to be able to accumulate wealth, but they are unfortunately not able to do it because it is not destined for them to be able to get that. There comes the issues of Sharia to enhance and regulate the relationship between people among themselves. Allah have tested you with wealth and have tested this with the lack of the wealth. It is you who is expected to provide and help and aid your brother, not because you have the upper hand, but because Allah is asking you. And in Islam, the rich is chasing and looking for the poor. And look how Allah even described it in the Quran. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تبطلوا صدقاتكم بالمن والأذى كالذي ينفق ماله رئاء الناس ولا يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فمثله كمثل صفوان عليه تراب فأصابه وابل فتركه صلدا. Allah is urging you to give. That's right. And giving you a 700 in return for one dollar you give. But Allah is saying, be careful. Be careful. Do not, this reward has conditions. The condition of this reward is to make sure that when you give as a rich your money to the less fortunate people, you have to give it to them with integrity and dignity. Subhanallah. So the person who is less fortunate and do not have the means in his life would be living with integrity and would be respected by the person who has the wealth and has the upper hand in this lower life, al-hayat al-dunya. SubhanAllah, this is the beauty of our deen. So Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَمَا أَمْرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. To be sincere and you're worshipping to Allah Azza wa Jal. Ikhlas, sincerity is very important. And the second, and Allah Azza wa Jal said after that, regulating the relationship between the slave and Allah, between the people and Allah Azza wa Jal, and between people among themselves. This comes where it comes, the salah and the zakah. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. And this is indeed the perfect deen. This is indeed the qayyim, the valuable deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is the deen of Tawheed. This is the deen of Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ وَالْمُشْرِكِينَ فِي نَارِ جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا. Those who denied from both the people of the book and al-mushrikeen. Now here comes, beautiful catch in the Arabic language. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ وَالْمُشْرِكِينَ. Allah Azza described them by the verb. Kufr is verb. So Allah Azza is saying, those who disbelieved from the people of the book and the associators are in the hellfire. Now, we know that the associators are the ones who have associated someone with Allah Azza wa Jal. They disbelieved and worshipped idols and statues, and they deny even the existence of the hereafter, the akhirah, because وَلَئِنْ سَأَلْتَهُمْ مَنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ لَيَقُولُونَ اللَّهُ. But they denied the akhirah, the existence of the day of accountability. Allah Azza wa Jal here is saying, including both the people of the book, disbelief from the people of the book, not all of the people of the book, because we have to be careful. Those who were believers from the people of the book, those who believed in Musa alayhi salam from Bani Israel, the mu'mineen that Allah Azza wa Jal described them in the Quran, يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأني فضلتكم على العالمين. There were true believers and supporters. There were also al-Hawariyun from the supporters of Isa alayhi salam. This is something that we have to acknowledge, that not all the people of the book are going to the hellfire. This is actually contradicting the message of Islam. Those who believed in their prophets from the people of the book and have believed in the teachings of their prophet and continued to follow their prophets even after their prophets have died are still believers. They believed in the message of Allah, the message of Tawheed. But those who have changed, and as again said, that the people, the Bani Israel were very harsh and in their interaction with the deen, and have said, some of them have said Uzair ibn Allah, some of the Bani Israel said that Uzair ibn Allah, and others also have said inappropriate things about their own prophets and Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is why they have denied and disbelieved in the true and authentic message that were revealed to their own prophets. And the opposite with the people, the followers of Isa alayhi salam, who have called themselves the Christians. They have come up with with this concept that Isa wal-'iyadhu billah is the son of God, or the Trinity, where they believe in the three things in one and all the details. So they're different beliefs. This have taken them out of the true path, the path of Islam and the Tawheed, the believing that Allah Azza wa Jal begets not, nor he was begotten, and there is none co-equal nor comparable unto him. Period. So إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ وَالْمُشْرِكِينَ فِي نَارِ جَهَنَّمَ. Those who have disbelieved from both the associators and the people of the book are in the hellfire, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا, living in it eternally, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. This is their abode. This is for denying the fact. This is for denying the truth, for covering the haqq. Because kufr, from covering, and what is referring to is covering the haqq, the truth. Because the haqq and the truth is clear and obvious. It coincides with your fitrah. This deen of Allah Azza Jal is a deen of fitrah. It comes along with your with your fitrah, with your natural needs and intrinsic feelings. So but when you deny that and cover the haqq because of the shahawat and desires, then you have this kafir. And this is even the al-kuffara, وَيَغِيظُ بِهِمُ الْكُفَّارَ. The farmer is called in the Quran as kuffar, but they're not being kuffar because they're disbelieving in Allah Azza, but because the kuffar, or the farmers, put the seed in the ground and cover it so that it would be planted. That's why they are called kuffar. So this is in the context of farming. إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها أولئك هم شر البرية. Those who have denied the haqq, denied the truth, and those who have rejected the deen of Tawheed are the worst of al-Bariya. Al-Bariya refers to the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. Al-Bari al-Musawwir. Al-Bari means the creator, the founder from from nothing. So Allah Azza wa Jal is saying that those who have denied from both the people of the book and the associators the haqq, the truth, when it comes to them and clearly was presented to them, then they are the worst of the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. Worse than the one who have killed, worse than the one who have drank khamr, those worse than the one who stolen, worse than the one have done many other awful things, because there is nothing more dhulm than the shirk itself. In the shirk la dhulmun azim. This is it. This is the worst. So Allah Azza wa Jal have made their final abode, their rewards would be to the hellfire. Wal-'iyadhu billah. أولئك هم شر البرية. This is it, the worst of all the creations of Allah Azza wa Jal. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. Now Allah Azza wa Jal presenting the opposite, presenting the bright side. Those who are have dedicated their life and followed the truth. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. Those who believed and عملوا الصالحات, did good. Remember when we were talking about Surah Al-Asr, we said Allah Azza said, in general, all mankind are lost. Like what we said, an instructor walks into the classroom and says, all the class have failed. That means everybody have failed, except. Now, when he say except, people would expect him to say one or two, right? Or three, counted number. So Allah is saying, all mankind are lost, except those who do four things. What are they? Sheikh Hasid. آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Two things complement and integrate the personality of the Muslim, and two things enhance and complement the society in which you're living in. آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. Iman without amal is hypocrisy. And amal without iman is useless, because it is lacks the sincerity. لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون. Allah said, there's the believers. لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون. Do not why you're not walking your talk, why you don't do what you're preaching. This is nifaq. And at the same time, the actions that you do without any sincerity is useless, because there's no value for them. You're not getting rewarded for them. That's why wherever you go in the Quran, you will find آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. And this is what Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying right now. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. They believe first, but they followed their belief with actions. Because again, believing without actions is hypocrisy, and actions without believing is useless, because it has no merits, because you're not getting any reward for it. So both actions and believing are like the body and the head. You cannot disconnect them from each other. So إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. So those who, we say to those who claim, oh, I am mu'min. طب يا أخي, why don't you pray? That's okay, because my heart is good. I know your heart is good, but what about the actions? Iman by itself is not enough. You try to translate your iman to actions. And also at the same time, your actions, I am good, I do so many things. Well, what's that gonna benefit you? Yes, I know you're doing a lot of beautiful things, and you're giving charity, and you're helping here and helping there, but why you're doing this? You need the iman. And iman also endorses the amal. So both of them, what defines the Muslim, the mu'min, and both of them will be complementing and integrating your personality as a function, as a good citizen in the society in which you are living in. This is what this distinguishes Muslim from other people. The Muslim is a dynamic, active person. I am part of a community. My duty and responsibility towards Allah Azza wa Jal is to give. وَقُلْ اعْمَلُوا. The recognition of my actions is irrelevant for me. I don't even need to be recognized. It is the Muslims always hide to be to run away from being recognized. In one of the battles, the army was having difficulty to penetrate one of the fortress, because it was well built and well protected. And after so long, in one of the nights, a soldier was able to penetrate the fortress and make it through and open the gate, and as a result of that, the army of Islam were able to conquer. Now, after everything was finished, the leader of the army wants to know who opened that. No one came out. The first week, the second week, the third week, the leader of the army was, out of curiosity, wants to know who did that. We need to recognize you, so we need to honor you. And then in one of the nights, when he was sitting by himself in his tent, a man came with covering, his face, and said to him, "You were insisting, and you said, by Allah, I need to see the person or meet the person who have opened the gate or penetrated this fortress." He said to him, "It is me, and I ask you by Allah Azza wa Jal to keep it between me and Allah Azza wa Jal," and he walked away. Subhanallah. It could have been that his name would be recognized in the history. It could have been that he would be honored by the leadership. He would be promoted. He would be getting this. He would be getting that. But the Muslim always run away from being recognized and getting having his rewards being used up in this dunya, and wants to save them for the akhirah. The more you get rewarding for your actions in this dunya, the less you will be getting in the akhirah. That's why the Muslims always hide away, and then if Allah Azza have wants to honor you and love you as a result of your actions and deeds, then Allah Azza will put the qabul for you in the hearts of the people. Ya Jibreel, inni uhibbu fulan fa-ahbibhu, fa-yanadi Jibreel fi an-nas ana ahbibbu fulan. Allah Azza will be saying to Jibreel that I love X for his actions and deeds, and Jibreel will be conveying this message of love of Allah Azza to the surroundings around him. So Allah Azza after that will be putting the qabul for you in the earth. We're not saying that your efforts would not be recognized, but Allah wants you to achieve the sincerity. And subhanallah, this is what would make a society truly a society that is pure. Look into now, this is promoted now. Nowadays you'll see, to those who watch patriotic movies or American movies, they will find that like a soldier who acts on his beliefs, or someone who acts his own beliefs, does not care about the consequences. So this is what Islam tried to build in the minds and the hearts of the individuals. You have core values, you believe in them, you act upon them, and you don't care about the recognition. It's between you and Allah Azza wa Jal, not for the history to recognize you, and not for people to acknowledge you. So, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ خَيْرُ الْبَرِيَّةِ. Those who believe and follow their belief in actions are the best of all mankind, the best of all the bariyah, all the creations of Allah Azza wa Jal. But what are their rewards, Ya Rabbi? جزاؤهم عند ربهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا. Their rewards are nothing but جنات عدن, the gardens of Adn, which runs underneath the rivers. خالدين فيها, living for it eternally. خالدين فيها أبدا. Not only خالدين فيها, but خالدين فيها أبدا. خلاص, this is it, eternally. And what is even more rewarding and much better than being in Jannatu Adnin is رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه. Allahu Akbar. رضي الله عنهم, Allah is happy with them and content, and they are happy and content with Allah Azza wa Jal. As what Allah Azza wa Jal will be doing and saying to the people of Al-Jannah in the hereafter, when things settle, the people of the Jannah go to Jannah, Allah Azza wa Jal will be talking to the people of Al-Jannah. أَرَضِيتُمْ? Do you have anything to ask for? Ya Rabbi, you given us everything. You saved us from the hellfire, you admit us to Al-Jannah, you give us this, you give us... What else we can ask for? Allah Azza wa Jal repeats, keep repeating, what do you need more? What do you need? And He said to them, then shall I give you something that will make you happy? That I will give you my marḍā. فلا أسخط عنكم بعد ذلك أبدا عنكم بعد ذلك أبدا. I will be happy and content with you, and this is the ultimate reward. ذلك الفوز العظيم, as Allah described in Surah Al-Ma'idah. ذلك is indeed the ultimate gain you will be getting as a mu'min,
And even when you go to Al-Jannah, that Ridwan Allah Azza wa Jal will be given to you and will not be lifted up from you. Allahu Akbar. رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه. طيب, ذلك, again, see, Quran is very logical. How are you able to be in the category of those whom رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه? How are you able to be from those إن الذين يبايعونك تحت الشجرة, those who have given the, لقد رضي الله عن الذين يبايعونك تحت الشجرة. Allah Azza wa Jal given the marda to those who were giving the covenant to the Prophet ﷺ under the tree in the Surah Al-Hudaybiyah. One of them first said, imagine, being in a position where you were granted the marda of Allah Azza wa Jal. Yeah, it is وَعَجِلْتُ إِلَيْكَ رَبِّي لِتَرْضَى. Musa alayhi salam said, Ya Rabbi, I have hastened and rushed for you, Rabbi, so you will be happy and content with me. لِتَرْضَى. Mardat Allah Azza wa Jal is something, could be a goal to achieve for every mu'min, every Muslim in his or her life. It's an ultimate goal. So imagine, being from those whom Allah Azza wa Jal radiyallahu anhum. Allahu Akbar. That's, amazing, both in the dunya and in the akhirah. It's amazing. There's nothing more in the Jannah that you can gain after the people of Al-Jannah have enjoyed all the attractions. They cannot think of anything else. Allah Azza wa Jal said, shall I give you something even better than what you have experienced in Al-Jannah? My marda. Allahu Akbar. That's ultimate. And Allah described it, ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. This is indeed the greatest gain that you can get in the Jannah. طيب, how we can gain it? ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ خَشِيَ رَبَّهُ. Those who have the khashya of their Lord. How? There's difference between khawf and khashya. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. There's the khawf and there's the khashya. Khawf will be the fear of a threat. Let's imagine that you're camping in wilderness, and you heard a noise of the bear. What is your immediate reaction? You're afraid. Bears are no joke. When they attack, they kill. They're vicious, even though they're portrayed to us as teddy bears and lovely little things. No, they're vicious. They're aggressive. So you are immediately in a state of fear. This is khawf. However, khashya is from the legacy. You're not fear because of an immediate threat, but you have the majestic feeling of Allah Azza wa Jal in your heart and mind, and you feel that you are dealing with the omnipotent, the superior Allah Azza wa Jal. Khashya is far more beyond fear, because fear would be gone if the source of the fear is gone. If the bear was chased away, then you go back to your security and tranquility. But the khashya is something that you have of Allah Azza wa Jal as a result of knowing who Allah Azza wa Jal, as a result of getting to know what is Al-Jannah, what's An-Nar, and what Allah Azza wa Jal had given to you, and what is waiting for those who live a life that does not have a khashya to Allah Azza wa Jal. So this is what Allah Azza wa Jal has prepared for those who are the best of all the bariyah. They will be giving Jannah, living in it eternally. No fear, because one of the fears that we have in this dunya, no matter how long we live, is that either we would be losing what we have, or we will be leaving what we have behind us and go to the akhirah. But in Al-Jannah, it's different. You will have everything, and you will be living eternally, and what you have is also staying with you eternally to be able to enjoy it. And on the top of that, you will be having the marda of Allah Azza wa Jal. May Allah make us from those whom Allah radiyallahu anhum. Allahumma ameen. Subhanakallahumma hamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wal 'asr, inna al-khusra lladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihat. وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.